Hello everyone, I am Muhid Ahmed Siddiqui. Now in this video, I will solve a question that requires you to demonstrate a good understanding of the target costing. This is a very integral, this is our topic that is definitely a very important topic from the F5 syllabus. So here I would like you to pause this video and read the question once, read the scenario once to get an understanding of the question. So once you have read the entire question, I will start explaining the requirements that are given below, that are uh, the requirements that are given below. So just go through this question and restart the video. When you will restart the video, I will start explaining the questions and I will show you how to solve them. So here, I hope that you have paused, you have read the question. Now, the question actually requires you, the question actually requires you to, as I said earlier, requires you to show an understanding of the target costing concepts. Now, the very first requirement, which of the following statements would the finance director have used to explain to Hellot Company's board what the benefits were of adopting a target costing approach early in the game's life cycle? Here we are definitely required to identify that which of these statements are advantages of life cycle costing. Now, question number two, statement number two, sorry. Customer requirements for quality, cost, and time scales are more likely to be included in decisions on product development. Yes. Now, target costing requires management, or you can say that target costing drives management's attention towards customers' requirements as it recommends, target costing recommends that management perform value analysis of products and services that they are producing. That's why target costing, this is one of the advantages of this approach, that we consider customers requirements when we develop or design our products. So statement 2 is definitely an advantage of target costing. Now look at question statement number 4. The company will focus on designing out costs prior to production. Now one of the advantages of target costing is that it starts, or it comes into play before the production actually it starts, at the design phase. That's why that's why the cost reduction in target costing happens before the start of the production, as it is mentioned here, rather than cost control during live production. Instead of after starting, subsequent to starting production, we reduce costs before start of the production in target costing, and this is one of the greatest advantages of the approach. That's why statement number 4 is also an advantage of the approach. Now, statement one number 1 statement number 1 is not an advantage of the approach, and statement number 3 is also not an advantage of target costing. That's why the correct answer is statement 2 and statement 4. That's why D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer to question number 1. Moving forward, now in this requirement, we are actually required to find out the cost gap, if there is any cost gap. Now, how do we calculate cost gap? How do we calculate cost gap in target costing? First, first we uh, first we calculate the actual estimated profit, and we compare that actual estimated profit with the target profit, and the difference between the two is the cost gap. So actually, what we will do, we will find out an estimated cost, an actual estimated actual profit for the product from the information that is given, and then we will compare that estimated actual profit with the target profit. If the target profit exceeds the estimated actual profit, then there will be a cost gap. So let's start. First of all, the sales revenue. The company, if you read the question, the company intends to produce 350,000 units. How many? 350,000 units. Rounded to the nearest 100, it will become 350, and each unit will sell for $45. So the total revenue will be 45 multiplied by 350 less variable cost. How much is the variable cost? The variable cost is, how will we calculate the variable cost? All these cost per unit are our variable cost, and some of these costs is equal to $15.3. $15.3. So each unit will cost, $15.3 of the production cost. 15.3. So the variable cost will be 5,355. The contribution will become, how much? Contribution will be 10,395. Now the fixed costs. How much are the fixed costs? Here we are given the fixed cost: designing, marketing, and distribution. Design, marketing, consultant, and distribution. These are the three fixed costs: 2,500, 1,700, and 1,400. 2,500, 1,700, and 1,400. So it will be how much? It will be, the net profit that we will get will be 4,795. This is the estimated actual profit that that we will get. But the target profit, how much is the company's target? The target profit is 35% of the sales revenue, that is 15,750. Here it is mentioned. Let me show you. Target profit margin is 35%. Now margin is related to the sales revenue. So it means that target profit margin is 35% of the sales revenue. So it is 35% multiplied by the sales revenue, that is 5,513. Now, since, as I told you earlier, target profit is more than the estimated actual profit, that's why there will be a cost gap of 5,513 minus 4,795. It will be, so there will be a cost gap of 717.5. Now, this cost gap is the total cost gap, the difference between the total target profit, and the total estimated profit. But if we find cost gap in terms of per unit cost, in terms of per unit, or for each unit, the cost gap will be this total will be divided by the total number of units, that is 350. So the cost gap per unit will become $2.05 per unit. $2.05 per unit. So this is the cost gap per unit. This is the cost gap per unit. This is the cost gap per unit. Okay then. So what is the correct answer? This is the correct answer. Here you can see that option A is the same as what we have calculated. So option A is the correct answer to requirement number 2. Now, is moving on to the next question. The board of Hilot has asked the finance director to explain what activities can be undertaken to close a cost gap on its computer games. Now, here we are given four statements. Here we are given four statements and we are required to identify that out of these four, which are the appropriate ways, which are the suitable ways of reducing cost in target costing, of closing the cost gap. There is a topic in the BPP study text named closing the cost gap. I suggest that you go through that topic to get a better understanding of this particular area, closing the cost gap or reducing costs, uh, or how costs are reduced, so that the estimated cost, so that this estimated actual profit becomes equal to the target profit. Okay then. So number one, buy cheaper lower grade plastic. No, lower grade plastic, you cannot we cannot in fact we cannot compromise on quality in order to reduce cost. Using lower grade plastic will definitely reduce quality. That's why this statement is not this statement appears to be inappropriate. This is something that appears to be inappropriate for reducing cost or closing the cost gap. Using standard components, yes, definitely. Standard components are normally less expensive as compared to the customized components or bespoke components. That's why this is an appropriate way. This is an appropriate way for reducing the cost gap. Employ more trainee game designers. No, definitely. Trainee game designers are not definitely not as skilled as the senior designers. Employing less skilled staff will definitely reduce the quality of the game. That's why, again, it is not an advisable way for Helot to reduce cost. Use the company's own online gaming website. Yes, if the company decides to use its own online platform instead of hiring a marketing consultant, then this cost of marketing consultant will be avoided, will likely be avoided. That's why, or even reduced, or even reduced. That's why, or even reduced significantly, I should say. That's why using a company's own website appears to be a suitable option. So statement number 2 and statement number 4, these are the two appropriate ways. These are the two appropriate ways as far as closing the cost gap is concerned. So statement 2 and statement 4 are the two suitable ways for reducing costs. Now, here the direct labor cost per unit has been based on an expected learning rate of 90%, but now finance director has realized that a 95% learning rate should be applied. So here we are actually required to tell what will happen to the cost. What will you just think over it. that what will happen to the actual cost, what will happen to the actual cost if the learning rate increases. Now, never be surprised to get a question that requires you or that actually combines the learning curve and the target costing, because this is this is an examiner, this is a habit of the examiner, or this is something that usually I have seen that examiner likes to do. Examiner likes to combine learning curve concepts with the target costing. That's why never be surprised to see a question that requires you to demonstrate your understanding of target costing combined with the learning curve effect. Now here, just just think over it. What will happen, what will happen to the cost, what will happen to the labor cost if the learning rate increases? Let me explain it to you with the help of an example. For example, right now my labor workforce works for 100 hours, and the learning rate is works for 100 hours to uh, to prepare the first batch, to prepare, let's say, the first batch. This is the time taken by the labor workforce to prepare or to manufacture the first batch, 100 labor hours. The learning rate is, let's say, 90%. So how much will the second batch take? How much will the second batch take? How much will the second batch take? How much time will the second batch take? The second batch will take 100 multiplied by 90% is equals to 90 hours. So the second batch will take 90 hours. But what if the learning rate, what if the learning rate changes, or let's say increases from 90 to 95%? What will happen to the time taken by the second batch? The time taken by the second batch will now be 100 multiplied by the new learning rate, that is 95%. So the time taken by the second batch will uh, will increase to 95 hours instead of 90 hours. So as you can see that when the learning rate increased, the time taken by the labor workforce increased. So an increase in the labor hours will definitely lead to an increase in cost. This will increase cost. This will definitely increase our costs. This will definitely result in an increase of costs. Now, all this is that I am explaining is for the estimated actual cost. All this is for the estimated actual cost, or you can say the estimated actual profit. Once the estimated actual cost will increase, definitely then the cost gap will increase. Now keep one thing in mind, that this increase in learning rate has nothing to do with the target profit, because target profit is something that has already been set by the management. So we can never change the target, we cannot change the target. All we can do is change our estimated actual profit. So if the learning rate increases, what will happen? The estimated actual profit will decrease, as there will be an increase in cost. As estimated actual profit will decrease, what will happen? The cost gap will increase. The cost gap will increase. The difference between these two, estimated actual profit and the target profit, will definitely become higher. So cost gap will, what will happen to the cost gap? The cost gap will increase. So there are two things to note. Target profit will remain the same and the cost gap will increase. Here, which of the following statements is true? The target cost will decrease? No, I said that the target cost, as I said that the target profit, the target profit will remain the same. Or you can say that if the target profit remains the same, if the target profit remains the same, the target cost will remain the same. The target cost will remain the same. The target cost will increase. No, this is also incorrect. The target cost will remain the same. Target cost will remain the same because it is a predefined target. As I told you that the target cost, the target that has been set is a predefined target. We cannot change the target. But as I showed you, as I explained to you a few moments ago, that the cost gap will increase as a result of increase in the learning rate. So C is the correct answer to this requirement. Moving forward, question number 5. Helot is thinking about expanding its business and introducing a new new computer repair service. Company is thinking of introducing a new service for the customers. Introducing a new service for the customers. What will happen? Which of the following statements regarding services and the use of target costing within the service sector is true? Now, here you need to recall the points that you should have studied while studying the topic, the use of target costing in the service industry. So look at the first statement. The purchase of service transfers ownership to the customer. No, definitely. Purchase of service or provision of service definitely does not transfer ownership to the customer. So this statement appears to be wrong. Labor resource usage is higher in services. Definitely. Labor resource usage. More labor is needed in service industries as compared to the material content, the physical material required. For example, I am running an online school. I am not selling anything physical. All I am selling is the teacher services. So, labor resource usage. My labor resource is what? My labor resource are my teachers. And I am making high use of my teachers. The main service is being provided by the teachers in a school. That's why service industry requires high usage of labor resources, and there is very little or even no physical uh, or no physical goods produced by such service businesses. Moving forward, a standard service cannot be produced, and so target costing cannot be used. Although it is difficult to produce a standard service. It is definitely difficult to produce to definitely you can say that it is definitely difficult to provide a service that uh, keeps the same standard throughout. But it does not necessarily mean that target costing cannot be used. So statement C is also incorrect. The last statement, service characteristics include uniformity, perishability, and intangibility. Uniformity is not a characteristic of the services. That's why this statement is also incorrect. The only correct statement, as I identified earlier, is statement B. That's why this is the answer to this question. So thank you very much. Thanks for watching. It was Muhid Ahmed Siddiqui. My number is also mentioned here. You can contact me via WhatsApp or any other social media platform that I am available on. Let me know if you need any kind of assistance. Thank you very much and hope to see you soon.